it's not hard to tell that this deck is bad. Explaining why this deck is bad, though, requires a bit more knowledge than just knowing which cards are powerful and which are not. In fact, each of these cards are very effective in their own right. For example, Ice Waves can stop enemy turrets, and Neptune can repeatedly stun enemies. So it's not enough to just say that a card might be weak, because even weak cards excel in certain scenarios after all. To better understand why this is bad, let's go over the concept of the defender's advantage in Amity Arena. I took some time to have a brief chat with the higher ranked players of the game, including both CRVT and Ring Buckets, who are consistently at the top of the ranking list. And after going over what I thought on the topic, they agreed that defender's advantage can be broken down into 3 core concepts, with some concepts more visible than others. So we'll jump right in and start with the easiest one, your turret. If you and an opponent of equal skill somehow have the same exact deck, then one of the deciding factors will be how well you can use your turrets to your advantage. This is the most obvious one, and you see it during the entire match, but is also one of the most poignant reasons why the defender's advantage exists. Every time you make a push, even if you spend the same amount of aura as your opponent, there's always something extra shooting at you. There's always a small disadvantage for the aggressor to try and break through. So obviously, your turrets are there to help. This brings us to our second point, selective defense. When a unit is on offense, that unit beelines towards the enemy turrets. They are limited by the pathing of the game. Defense, however, can be placed anywhere on your side, meaning you can defensively react in more varied ways, while it is harder to direct your offense and maximize its effectiveness. To demonstrate, we have Scythe RWBY coming down the left lane. She was a bit damaged by Nolan, but if I don't do anything, she will start attacking my turret. Let's take a moment and see how I defend against this. As you can see, I place Shadow Blake in the center between both my turrets and immediately jump back. This creates a clone, keeping Shadow Blake alive while drawing Scythe RWBY into range of both of my turrets. Doing this in the heat of the moment can be tough, but can be improved with practice. Finally, we move on to our third concept, opponent knowledge. This is something that occurs throughout the match, and it is just as important in offense as it is in defense. Here we have a match, and not too far in, I play Neon. My opponent immediately reacts with Balance Barrier, and this sets the tone of the match. Every time I try to play Neon to taunt units, the walls either stop me again, and again, and again. This isn't a coincidence. They are specifically saving the barrier for her, and it makes the match that much harder. That wraps up the core concepts of the defender's advantage. As a recap, let's translate the memes and review what we went over. Use your turret, maximize defensive placement, and know what your opponent has. These aren't the only things that matter in the game, but almost all mechanics play around it. In fact, one of the benchmarks of whether a card is good or bad is how well it can amplify as well as circumvent the defender's advantage. And now that we know this, let's go back to our bad deck. Now that we know how defender's advantage works, we can see that our cards amplify our defensive capabilities, but we have no way to circumvent the defenses of our opponents, even before factoring our weakness to area of effect damage. Baby Deathstalkers move too slowly and die to turrets. We cannot consistently challenge or play around defensive placements, and any knowledge that we gain can only be applied for defense, not offense. At best, we produce so many bodies that turrets and defensive choices eventually can't keep up. But at worst, we get wiped out by AoEs, leaving nothing to defend our valuable units with. It's not impossible to win, but it is very difficult to achieve. This is what Defender's advantage is, and I hope this video begins to explain the choices high-level players make. With time, I hope that you'll be able to take these concepts on your own and begin to apply it to your own gameplay. Have a great day, and I hope to see you in V9.